All right, good afternoon, everyone. We'll now get started with the planning and zoning portion of today's meeting. It was scheduled to start at 3 o'clock. If we finish early, then we'll take another stoppage in our meeting and begin at 3:30 on the issues relative to our employee organizations and contracts. Item number 85 is the first item on the planning and zoning agenda. It concerns 7th Street in Ocotillo. It would be time to do a public hearing now. My understanding is that there may be a request for continuance. Councilwoman Gallego.
Mayor, we received significant correspondence about this item this morning, and so I would like to give time to look at some further information, and I move to continue till June 18.
I second.
Okay, so we have a request to continue item number 85 till June 18th.
Yes.
We have a second. Any comments by members of this council relative to a request for a continuance?
Mayor, can we ask the
Counsel.
applicant if they are agreeable?
Okay, is there a representative of the applicant? Mr. Diaguardi, I think you're the lawyer for, good to see you, attorney for the applicant. Just come over to the microphone here. And so Councilwoman Gallego has asked for a continuance. Would you provide any thoughts on a proposed continuance?
The applicant has no objection.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see, there were a couple cards in favor of the proposal. Obviously, we won't take those because they would be of a substantive nature. Then we had about 5 cards in opposition to the proposal. Did anyone wish to testify on the issue of a continuance on this item? Ms. Guerra, did you wish to testify on a continuance? You want to oppose the continuance? Please come forward. And as you're coming forward, the item that's on the table is a continuance till June 18th. So my polite request is that any arguments in opposition stay on the issue of the continuance and why you're opposing the continuance, as opposed to the underlying issues in the case. Good to see you.
Good to see you all this afternoon. I think this is our third time here, so I'm getting to be pretty familiar. Okay, we want to oppose the continuance simply because this is the third time it's been continued. When we went to the planning committee the first time, we asked to have a continuance. The neighbors asked. They would not agree with that, so they immediately brought it to city council. Since then, they have asked for continuances, and we didn't oppose them. So at this juncture, we wanted to vote. We were one of the protesters. We'd like to call the vote. We have devoted in unbelievable time to this already. We have met with them on 3 separate occasions personally. They have met with the neighbors 3 times, the whole neighborhood. We took a personal vote on the whole neighborhood. It's 11 to 15 against rezoning, and so we don't think a continuance is necessary. There's no reason to continue it. The neighbors are totally opposed to the rezoning because they impact on property values, and so we see no need for this to happen again. Simple.
Thank you very much, Ms. Guerra. My understanding from Councilman Gallego is that you wanted time to have analysis on some of the issues in a letter that came to the council?
Right, we received a letter this morning and want time to.
You want time to go through the issues? Okay. Please, Councilwoman.
I received this letter this morning and only had a time to read it basically 5 minutes before we entered here. And it has my name tied to this. And I want to understand this letter and what it means.
Okay.
Mayor?
So, Councilman, please.
Let me be a lot more direct. There was a letter that was distributed right before, and I just saw it when I got in today, but then I ended up reading it right around noon. And Laura wanted to know why her name was in it, and I said, I have no clue. I knew there was a letter coming in. It's a very strongly worded letter. Basically, and I'll just be quite blunt, it talks about potential extortion, the whole thing. So I understand why some of the council members are concerned about that letter. It's not something that you normally get, so either one side or the other is going to have a problem in this thing somewhere along the line. So I'm being a lot more blunt, if you don't mind, Laura. Laura's trying to couch it, and I just figure everyone just deserves to know what's going on. So I've already given my commitment. If it were me on the other side of it, I'd want to know more about what was happening here. And I can understand whatever the other council members would do, but I've already given my word to the neighbors that I was going to oppose a continuance from my end of it, so I'm going to stay with my word just because I agreed to that. But I do understand the concern that Councilwoman Pastor has, especially with her name being interjected into a letter, and for whatever reason her name was in there. That I don't know. I would be upset if it were if it were a letter written, we had my name in it as well. So I fully understand what it is, the concern that's occurring up here on the council, and this all just recently happened, probably within the last maybe 2 hours. So, you know, I'm going to oppose the continuance only on that basis because I gave the public my word. But there is some strong problems with some of the foundations that are in this letter, and I think that Councilwoman Pastor and others really need to look into it if that's something that they feel strongly about, which I think that they do. And so I'm voting against the continuance, yes, for that reason, because I gave my word to the neighbors I would do that, and I always do what I say I'm going to do. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you very much. All in favor of the continuance, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. It passes on a 7-2 vote. So now we'll move on to the next item. Next item is item number 86. It concerns 43rd Avenue between Circle Mountain Road and Jerry Lynn Road. I will now, no request for continuance on this one. I will now open the public hearing. Are there any cards on item number 86? I have one card in front of me. That card is from Stephen Earl in favor of the proposed item, available to speak if requested. Mr. Earl, it is your choice whether you wish to speak. You're okay. Are there any other members of the public here wishing to speak on item number 86? Going once, going twice. The public hearing is now closed. This item, I believe, is in District 2. Is that correct, Vice Mayor?
It's in District 1. and
I
it's-
apologize, darn it. Councilwoman, what's your pleasure?
Move approval.
We have a motion. Do we have a
Mayor-
second?
Mayor, members of council, it should
Oh,
be
Mr.
motion
Shi-
to approve for the planning commission and recommendation to adopt the related resolution.
I'm sure that's what I said.
And that's exactly what I second.
All right. We got a proper motion. We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Who was the second? Councilor Nowakowski. Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring. Yes. Mayor Stanton.
Yes. So that item passes unanimously. So now we are adjourned with our, are there citizen requests? Okay. So we're going to adjourn the formal meeting of the city council. Meeting is now closed.